States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sir, before we start tonight, there's just one little thing we announced. Commissioner Valentine is at a meeting in Annapolis this evening, so he won't be joining us.
All righty. Is there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
No, sir.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the last public business meeting?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All righty. Item number 1, we have a special guest tonight, Dr. Matthew Ravenscroft from Mountain Ridge High School. Come on up, sir. Welcome. Oh. Get lined up short. There's only 2 of us tonight. This reads, be hereby known to all, the County Commissioners highly commends Dr. Matthew Ravenscroft, Allegany County Teacher of the Year 2017-2018. That's signed Jake Shea, Creed Brody, Bill Valentine. Congratulations.
Thanks.
One, two, three.
Sir, hold on just a second, Jake. You have
Something else?
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
I almost
Don't run off
forgot.
yet.
All right.
We have a small gift for you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Sir, if you would, we'd like for you to step to the podium. and
That's what I've
say-
heard.
Say a few words if you would.
Time
So-
to lecture, huh?
Well,
That's right.
since a lot of us in the room will have, if we don't have kids at Mount Ridge, we've had them there or have grandchildren heading there, so congratulations.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you for the recognition for me as Teacher of the Year of Allegany County. I am not in any way dumb enough to think that I'm the best teacher in the county. I know that there's a whole lot of great teachers out there, and I'm just thankful to be one of the few that's been recognized. I look back at my career and the people I've taught with, and we just spoke about Mr. Lonnie Nixon. I'm not even the best teacher on my hallway. It's not even close. So I look back at my career and upbringing, and I look at where I've come and the experiences I've had growing up in a large family, selling auto parts in college, working on construction sites as a kid, and I look at all those, and they've kind of culminated in my career and the path that I've taken now. I'm very thankful for historical research methods where I'm able to take all these tools and skills that I've learned, and we create great documentaries every year based on the oral history of local veterans and local history of oral history of local citizens. Let's try that again. I believe we even have a participant here. Mr. Patterson in the back was a participant in one of our documentaries several years ago where we involved one of the championship runs of runner-up of Bell High football. So I'm just thankful for the experiences I've had, for the schedule I have at Mountain Ridge High School. The students are fantastic. I believe our county and the future of it is in good hands. So thank you all for this recognition.
Dr. Ravenscroft.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Congratulations. Next up, we have the Frostburg Lodge 470. Mr. Dale Iman. Jana.
Back up on I-68. I'd like to do
We'll hold him toward the end. How about that? 'Cause this next one will take plenty of time.
Well, this is really exciting.
That's right. Next up, we have the 2016 Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. Jason Bennett, Rick Hoover, just Mr. Rick Hoover.
Oh, please, Jason, don't you want to come up and help in this excitement?
I got plenty later.
Oh, okay.
There's some sarcasm in your voice.
Oh, no, sir, none at all, not mine.
Well, I am here to present last year's 2016 financial report. One thing I'd like to note within this year's report is last year's certificate of achievement that's issued to the county, which is proves that it meets the highest standards established by the Government Finance Officers Association. That's 24 years straight, so I believe Jason's report this year will probably get it again. So that would be 25 years straight once we get the 2017 certificate. I issued an unmodified opinion on this year's financial report, a clean opinion. That means that the financial statements are presented fairly and all material respects and in conformity with generally accepted accounting principles. I'll note that the general fund, as shown on pages C11 and C12, total revenues in the general fund last year was $85.9 million. Expenditures, $80.8 million. Net transfers to other funds, $8.9 million, with a net change, a loss of $3.8 million. As always, the CAFR will be on the website, I believe, within the next couple of days. I'd like to take this chance to thank Jason Bennett, Pam Smith, and the rest of the finance office for another fantastic year, a very fine year. Another audit under the belt.
Thank you, Rick.
Again, this is June 30, 2016.
Thank you very much, sir.
Any comments?
See, all that suspense.
See?
Well, no, because I think the people need to realize just how important that is, that the county comes through this and comes through this quite well. This is not something that we take lightly, and we thank Jason and Rick very much for looking after our finances to the utmost.
Thank you. Item number 4, we have our open space plan. Mr. Dorsey.
These numbers aren't going to be that high.
Oh, surely you, Jack.
As a matter of fact, back in March, early March, we were notified by the state of our annual allocation of program open space money. It's just more than $410,000. So we corresponded with the municipalities and local sponsors, and they replied with requests for about double that much, about $840,000. The municipalities had prioritized their projects, so staff recommends that we fund these projects as follows. Bell Elementary School, playground phase 2, $35,000. City of Cumberland long ball field improvements, $90,000. Town of Barton, the Meadow Ball Field improvements, $13,000. Allegheny College of Maryland, tennis court renovation, $80,000. Flintstone Elementary School ADA playground, $35,000. Town of Westernport, Maryland Avenue playground improvements, $20,000. Old Town Community Center concession playground and track improvements, $7,000. City of Frostburg Community Park pool deck, $7,000. Town of Midland Church Street Playground Pavilion for $20,000. LaVale Civic Improvement Association District Park basketball and parking paving, $17,000. And the Bel Air Elementary School school playground improvements at $90,000. Now, everybody didn't get everything they wanted, but they got something. So that's staff's recommendation.
That is the presentation, and I guess we'll take action on the 29th?
29?
All righty.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Dorsey. All righty. Jumping back up to the Frostburg Elks, Mr. and Mrs. Iman. And other members,
Yes, please, everybody.
the whole gang.
Good evening. There's a backup on 68. Must have been a bad wreck. Sorry we're late. My name's Dale Iman. I'm the exalted ruler of Frostburg Elks Lodge number 470. And with me this evening is Rob Repan, our leading knight, Chuck Bond, our loyal knight, our Esquire, Brian Westfall, and my wife, Jan Iman, who's also the chairperson of Derby Day 2017. And we want to thank the commissioners for your past support. We do our best to make the Derby Day a very enjoyable and a learning opportunity for approximately 35 youth each year. Many of them are underprivileged children. And it really builds a great bond between the parents and the mentors and the children as they build their cars and race them. And we look to do the same this year, bring a big crowd into Frostburg, into the community, and we have a lot of support from our business community as well. And we really appreciate what the county has been able to do in the past and hopefully in the future. My wife has a few comments as chairperson as well.
Hello. I just want to say that this year will be our 41st Derby Day event. We'll be celebrating that on July 4th. And the event is not only just about, it's about racing, patriotism, but also family and community. And we generate quite a few people. A big crowd comes out on the 4th of July to celebrate the racing. It is contributions like this that will help continue to support the Derby Day. And this is a great, wholesome family event. And I just want to say on behalf of Derby Day Committee, and as chairman of the Derby Day, I would like to thank the Allegany Board of Commissioners for your very generous donation and invite you to come to see us on Derby Day on the 4th of July. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
One more thing while I have you, I just thought of, on June 4th every year is Flag Day, of course, and we have a ceremony as Elks. Nothing more is more important to an elk than the American flag, and we've been celebrating Flag Day with a ceremony every year since 1914. That's 35 years before the Flag Day was actually proclaimed by President Herbert Hoover as a day of observation. And we've been doing it now in Frostburg for 114 years, I believe that's correct. My math is right. 103 years, I believe. And we'd like to invite you to come this year if you have an opportunity. It's on June 4th at approximately, June 14th at approximately 6 p.m. at the lodge.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, while we have them here, can we jump ahead to our consent agenda and take action on item number 19, which is a
Item 19.
$1,000 appropriation from our
Sir,
upcoming 2018
I'll make the
budget.
motion.
And second.
All in favor?
Aye. There you go. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
The last 3 years, believe it or not, I have not missed the Derby Day in a long time, but I stay up in the pits because I don't like to get down close to the microphone and this and that, because it's more fun being up where the kids are getting their cars ready, and that's where.
Instead of down there at the finish line, those photo finishes.
I wouldn't want to have to call that.
Thank you.
Creed, don't you give a big speech at the
Negative.
beginning or end of the?
I am not the best speech giver.
But there aren't any.
That's right.
All right, moving on to our public hearings. Tonight we have Code Home Rule Bill 4-17. This is our Residential Development Incentive Program. Mr. Eberly.
Commissioners, we introduced 2 weeks ago Code Home Rule Bill 4-17, and tonight is our hearing night, and we have 2 people signed up on the agenda. First, we have Matt Brewer signed up. Mr. Brewer.
Thank you. My name is Matt Brewer. I'm managing partner of Bennett Brewer & Associates. We're a consulting engineering firm based in Frostburg, Maryland, where we've been in business for the last 22 years. While we've been fortunate enough to expand our business across the United States, Allegany County is our home. Over the last decade, we've experienced some of the same ups and downs in the economy as most businesses. Our business, however, is directly tied to the development and construction sector of the economy, and so we are acutely aware of trends in that industry. A large part of that sector, of course, includes residential development. While we have seen a resurgence in the housing market in other parts of the state and the country, the market continues to languish here in Allegany County. While there are many contributing factors, the primary impediment remains a disparity between investment and market value in this region. It is then good and prudent that we as a community look for ways to collaborate and harness our collective resources to achieve a common goal. New residential housing affords a variety of benefits, which in a larger sense ultimately benefit every citizen and business in this county. The RETS program is an economic development tool not unlike many other similar programs used throughout the United States and in other countries as well. Similar programs use terms like tax increment financing or tax credit development, all kind of variations on the same theme. In this particular case, the municipality simply dedicates a portion of the future increased property tax revenue generated by the project itself to leverage private equity investment in public infrastructure systems that will support new residential development. That infrastructure is ultimately owned and maintained by the municipality. The REDS program is different in one key aspect than some of those other programs in that the municipality has zero obligation for debt service, bond payments, financial instrument guarantees, and so forth. All of the hard and soft costs are borne entirely by the developer for the project. I think commonly people associate benefits of new residential housing with an increase in property value and thus the tax base, and that's certainly true. But the fiscal impact of new residential development in this county has a much broader impact, not only from a real estate tax perspective, but also income taxes generated by workers during the construction period, and income taxes for the eventual residents of new houses, direct and indirect job creation, direct jobs being contractors and workers who physically construct the public infrastructure, roads, water, sewer, so forth, and of course, workers and contractors who construct the individual homes. Indirect jobs are created and supported for material vendors, manufacturers, equipment rentals, suppliers, and so forth, all manners of goods and services that would support the project, and of course, their associated sales tax as well. Residential development results in your local spend in the local economy, both during and after construction. Wages earned by construction workers and residents of the homes spent in the local economy here on shoes and food and insurance and tires and so forth. Less tangible, but equally important, I think we all recognize that the availability of new quality housing is absolutely critical to attracting and retaining other business ventures here to the county. Significant public benefits associated with new housing development are within sight but cannot be realized without community partnership. New residential development of any scale will simply continue to be non-existent absent the type of public-private cooperation we're talking about here today. There are absolutely willing investors currently on the sidelines, and they will remain there until something changes. REDS program is essential now, and I would strongly encourage the commissioners to approve Home Code Rule Bill 4-17.
Great.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. Next up, we have Steve Jenkins.
Hi, I'm Steve Jenkins. I'm with Allegany Coal and Land. This is going to be much shorter. I don't have any notes. Hopefully that'll move things along quickly for you. We just wanted to let you know we're very much in favor of the REDS program. We really need it. We're working on a development ourselves, and given the economics of the area, we just cannot in any way, shape, or form move forward without it. We really appreciate what the county's doing to try and help and spur residential development in the county. If there's ever any questions or we can answer anything that we're working on, we'll be more than happy to help.
Steve, do you think this program, combined with the timetable part of it, is that going to help make your project a reality or get it closer to becoming a reality?
Absolutely. Okay. We need help with the city of Frostburg as well.
Sure.
But we feel much more optimistic knowing what the county's doing here. We're definitely wanting to move forward as quickly as possible.
Very good, because this was something that Commissioner Shade and I both tried to tackle, and without the help of Administrator Eberly, we've never got this far. So this is something the county really needs, and like Matt said, it's something that it does not cost the county nothing. And Commissioner, you actually did a model of showing what, if you would just take pasture ground of what it's worth throughout the next 10 years, and after the first house gets built on it, even though how this is modeled is to put money back for future development, to keep your development going, the county wins from day one. And at day 10, when this sunsets, it really is just like money in the bank sitting there waiting. So it's a very good investment in the future of Allegany County. So thank you to all that was involved.
Well, and Steve, Matt, thank you all for taking this to the next step, because we can only do so much on the governmental side, and we try to make your jobs as easy as possible. Believe it or not, we do try to do that. Yeah. But, you know, our housing market our new housing market is definitely needs help, and anything we can do, and this is something that's innovative. I don't think any other areas have anything exactly like this, any of our surrounding counties. So it's something that doesn't cost the county anything, but can definitely be a benefit towards the economy as a whole.
Well, we've been really excited to see how the county's come forward to help. We're really happy about it.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you.
All righty. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone else wanting to comment on the residential development program? All righty. Moving on to our action agenda, we have our budget this evening, and we'll start with our annual budget message. This fiscal year, the operating budget summarizes the goals for the county commissioners. The county commissioners believe this budget is equitable and realistic given the county's projections for the next fiscal year. The board and our staff have worked very hard to maintain a strong position, and the taxpayers deserve this kind of fiscal restraint in government. Fiscal year 2018, the general fund expenditures are $86,879,607, and this represents a 0.74 increase over last fiscal year, and that includes no tax increases. We'll say that one again, there's no tax increases in this budget. There's a small decrease of 1/10 of 1 cent in the real property tax rate, which brings it down to 0.976, which is the 10th lowest in the state of Maryland. Our three primary sources of revenue are real estate tax, income tax, and a state disparity grant. The property tax is $41 million of our revenue, income tax is $26.6 million, and the disparity grant is $8.9 million of revenue. Of that disparity grant, $1.6 million goes towards the Board of Education for teachers' pension costs. Both the real estate tax and income tax are projected to decrease slightly in fiscal year 2018. Education remains the single largest funding priority. 43.79% of the county's general fund expenditures are dedicated to Allegany Board of Ed and our community college, Allegany College in Maryland. Allegany County government's increased the appropriations to the Board of Ed by $254,000 to a total of $30,424,000 in this fiscal year, in addition to $1.5 million on debt service paid on Board of Ed capital projects. Public safety received 20.6%. Public safety includes Allegany County Department of Emergency Services, Sheriff's Office, Road Patrol, and the Allegany County Detention Center. Additionally, fire companies will receive an additional $76,000. It's important to emphasize that Allegany County government pays for numerous services that are not provided by any of the municipalities. There are 27 services which receive a total of $61,176,000 of our $86 million total operating budget, 70% of it in fiscal 18. Major appropriations are for K-12 funding, support for ACM, Detention Center, 911, State's Attorney, and the Health Department. Our board has achieved our self-initiated $3 million goal as the county's maximum annual debt service. There's a small decrease to $2.935 million in fiscal 18, and over half of the fiscal 2018 debt is due to Board of Ed capital projects. Allegany County will need to rely on its fund balance to provide a balanced budget for fiscal 18. County government continues to maintain 2 months of general fund revenues in compliance with our GFOA accounting standards. Driving the need to rely on our fund balance is the rising cost of health care that's impacting budgets for both public and private sectors. The fiscal 18 operating budget's accompanied by the 18 through 22 capital improvement plan. This pertains to capital improvements defined as those which cost $25,000 or more and have a life expectancy of 10 years or more. Fiscal 18 has capital projects that total $14.9 million, and those include Allegany High School and Allegany College of Maryland Technology Building. Our board's very pleased that all departments aggressively pursue all state, federal, and private foundation grants which help offset the cost to local taxpayers. Furthermore, the management team and departments operate within their authorized budgets year in, year out. And our board is proud of the budget that we've carefully developed and will continue to work hard and steadfast to be stewards of taxpayer dollars. All these documents will be available on the website if they're not so already, in addition to the budget message. But I will say that I'm very proud of the budget this year, considering what other governments have had to do to make ends meet. I think every elected member and all of our staff is committed to doing the best for taxpayers, keeping taxes as low as possible. And if there's a cut that needs to be made, we want it coming out of the county's pocket, not out of the taxpayer's pocket. So, you know, it's not normal that we're able to do this year in, year out. It takes some hard budgeting and hard choices, but I think we have a team here that's proud to do that.
Couldn't agree more, sir.
All righty. So with that, we do have Mr. Bennett for a lot of motions on the budget.
Good evening. As you mentioned, a lot of motions on the agenda tonight as part of the budget, and Commissioner Shady, you just hit a lot of the highlights with the budget message, but before I get into all the motions we have to do tonight, I'll just walk through some of the steps we've done this year briefly. I know we've been through it before, but one last time. So today we have a $138 million budget in front of you. It's $135 million last year, so it's up just slightly in total. General fund's almost $9 million. We have lost $251,000 in real estate tax revenue in this budget. We've lost $500,000 of income tax revenue. Board of Education funding is up $254,000 as a result of the education effort index. We have decreased property taxes 1/10 of a penny for the 7th consecutive year, so our rate will be at 0.9760. We are using $900,000 of fund balance, largely to cover health insurance increases and some of the reduced revenues we just talked about. Highway user revenue is up $213,000 to just under $700,000, which, as you know, is way off what it used to be 10 years ago now. This budget includes a 2% COLA and 16% increase in our health insurance to the tune of about $800,000 in total. Debt service has stayed under our $3 million goal. We're just barely under it. That's including the new $9 million borrowing we just did. So we're right on target with where we should be. We have a little bit of new money for the Cumberland Theater for a project there, and new first-time money for Frostburg Main Street. A little bit as far as the process this year, budgets were due to finance March 9th. We had public hearings with outside agencies on the 9th and 23rd of March. This year we did not do a constant yield hearing because we didn't have to, because we were collecting less property tax than in the past. That's a first certainly for me, and I think it may be a first at least in the near term, so it doesn't happen very often. We did a budget workshop with you commissioners on April 6th, presented preliminary budget April 20th, did CIP and debt affordability May 4th, and had hearings all through May on that. We'll note we've maintained our bond rating, which is in the AA category with both S&P and Moody's. And essentially now we'll just move into some of the motions we have to go through for tonight to formally adopt the budget. And I apologize, there's several steps to go through. Try to make it as quick as we can.
Jason, just one quick question before we go, so everyone kind of understands what constant yield is. Could you give a real quick one on that? Because that was one of our goals when we all started out, was to do away with that hearing.
Sure. Every year, the state sends us numbers and calculates a tax rate that would provide a constant yield of tax revenue to us. Anytime you're going to be over that rate, you have to have hearings to talk about why you're going over, what you're going to be doing with the funds. Historically, we've always had to do that because generally your revenues are going up. This year we did not have to because between the assessments falling and moving the property tax rate down as you guys have over the last several years, we're under what the state calculated as constant yield. When that happens, you don't have to have a hearing. All we have to do is notify the state after today that we're under the constant yield. So that's constant yield for you. There's a lot of numbers behind it, and we usually project it when we do the hearing. But long story short, we're under constant yield.
I always put that in layman's terms as we're living within our means.
We are.
so we're not having to have a hearing to explain why we're charging more money than what we should have to
Right.
provide necessary services.
Right, we're not collecting more from the citizens this year than we did last, so, yeah,
Very good.
you're correct.
Thank you.
Sure.
And a lot of the revenue side is outside of the control, our direct control, but the revenue or the spending side, Jason, I think that's probably as healthy as we've been. I mean, we got a very good handle on our spending.
We've kept things pretty lean, and I think over the last 6, 7, 8 years, the county as a whole has done a good job of controlling cost, reducing our size of government as much as we can, and controlling as much as we can of outside influences, so, yeah.
And even when you compare it to 10 or 15 years ago, when you had increases of 5 to 7% every single year, and we're keeping it 1%, less than 2% certainly.
Yeah, and it's important to note, no services have been cut during all this time. Staffs are certainly smaller, but no services stopped. And I think that's a testament to all the operating departments out there, that everyone has rolled up their
Testament
sleeves.
to every employee Allegheny County
Yeah.
has, so.
Yeah, and you guys too, because you've told us that's what you expect, so.
Absolutely. Well, we'll start with a vote on the fiscal 18 operating and capital budget. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Next, moving on to the tax levy and differential.
And with that, I'll just make a quick note. What this does is actually enact the tax rate of .9760 for the year. Coming along with that is a personal property rate, which is 2.5 times that, which is 2.44. So that'll allow us to enact that tax rate and put it on the tax bills come July 1. As part of that motion, it also still includes 1% discount for payment in July and August, and allows us to set the interest rates as we have in the past. So that's your first motion.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Moving on to number 9 is the levy for the special taxing districts.
And in special taxing districts, much the same. As you know, there's ad valorem districts within the county for water and sewer. There's also many special taxing areas, whether it be for fire, ambulance, civic, lighting taxes. We collect those and we enact the tax here. So this motion would simply authorize those tax rates.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Moving to item 10 is our capital improvement CIP 18 through 22.
And-
Adam, anything? No?
I can gladly go on, and Adam, if you'd like to come up, you're more than welcome.
I have no comment. I've received no comment since the presentation on May 4th.
All right.
And year one of that CIP is included in this budget, as we've always done. So
Right.
year one's funded, years 2 through 5, we're hopeful of funding. We approved the idea of the project. So this would be a motion to approve that CIP program.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Item 11 is the necessary levy documents.
And this is more or less just like the motion says, this just allows us to publish this document in the paper and also get it published on the website, which we should have the full budget document on the website in the next week. We have to finalize a few of the things with the levy tonight, and within the next week, we'll have it up on the website and available in print if anyone likes it.
Great.
So,
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
thank you. And if I could, just real quick, I'd just like to thank you guys for your support, all the operating departments in the county through the budget process. We always ask a lot of them and don't give them a lot to do, and they make do. They may complain a little bit, but at the end of the day, they get the job done across the board. And just a real quick shout out to the staff in the finance office. They bend over backwards to get this done, so just appreciative.
Thank you, Jason. On behalf of us, send your thanks on to your department.
Yes.
do.
And that audit coming back with no deficiencies, that has to make you a proud director.
Pretty happy, yeah, pretty happy. So, yeah, definitely.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. All right. Item number 12 is water and sewer rates for fiscal 18. Mr. Mark Yoder.
Hello, Commissioners.
Sir?
I'll be very brief. I have presented the recommended rates The rates were recommended by the Sanitary Commission on May the 4th. I went over some of the items regarding those, and they have been posted on the website since May the 5th, and I'm not aware of any comments that we've received at all.
Mark, in every year such as this, I ask you the same question, because we still get it when we go out in public, that we adopt the rate that is given to us by someone else. Each district has an appointed person that represent them. They look over their district, they decide the rates, and then they send their recommendation to us, correct?
Yes.
And this is what they recommended, because we don't arbitrarily sit up on the fourth floor and say, gee, let's go ahead and raise water rates. What do you think? Yep, that's what we're going to do, because that's what I hear when I get out into the public, and I really wish the public would get more involved with this, or their representative when they have questions, because it's really unfair when it comes to this point to come back and hammer us with stuff that we really have not a lot of input on except for adopting. So
Yes, that's correct. The Sanitary Commission recommends, and then you guys adopt. The other misconception I hear a lot is people think their tax money goes towards the water and sewer system and rates, and they do not. It's paid solely by the users of the system.
very good. I'll make a motion. We adopt item 12.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Yoder. Next up's Allegheny County Community Enhancement Program, blight removal. Mr. Nedved.
Hello, Commissioners.
Sir?
The Allegheny County Community Enhancement Program is designed to assist municipalities in addressing community development needs unique to their community. We have already, you commissioners have already awarded funds to the municipality of Barton and to the municipality of Westernport, and Frostburg is also considering asking for funds at this time. With that in mind, and with that background, the Cumberland Mayor and City Council is respectfully requesting consideration of funding from the Allegheny County Community Enhancement Program to be used for abatement, demolition, and tipping fees, but not acquisition, of various properties within the Maryland Avenue project site. The project involves the acquisition and demolition of 9 properties. And again, like I said, the money they're asking for doesn't involve acquisition at our end. Once the demolition work is completed, the site will be targeted for commercial redevelopment by a developer. The City of Cumberland is requesting $210,000 again, and this will be matched with $231,700 in cash match that comes from the acquisition of these properties. Allegheny County will only reimburse funds spent, and it's funds spent by the City of Cumberland, and will not advance funds for this project. What we're asking for at this time, Commissioners, is we're recommending that the board approve giving the City of Cumberland $210,000 from the Allegheny County Community Enhancement Program for abatement, demolition, and tipping fees for these 9 properties in Rolling Mills.
Well, I'll say this is an important economic development project, and whether you agree with Rolling Mill or not, we're in the middle of it, and it needs to be made a reality. So I'm happy to help the city. I think they're very close to getting this done, and the county's happy to partner with them and turn this into a good thing for Cumberland.
Does that be a motion, sir?
And I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Nedved. Next up, we have the Greater Cumberland Raceway Lease Agreement. Mr. Nedved.
And it's still me. The Greater Cumberland, I'm saying it wrong here, the Greater Cumberland, I think I copied the wrong motion there. The Greater Cumberland Raceway. Yeah, I've got there it is. The Greater Cumberland Raceway, sorry, forgive me, my notes are off here. They already have a 1-year lease with the county for doing racing at the fairgrounds, and that went from April 1st, 2017, ending October 31st, 2017. And at this time, they're asking to sign another lease agreement for an additional 2 racing seasons, and that would be from April 1st, 2018, ending October 31st, 2019. And the lease agreement would be the same as what's already in place, except for being for 2 future racing seasons instead of 1. And at this time, what we're asking for is approval, Commissioners, of the new lease agreement, to sign the new lease agreement.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Nedvin. Moving on to our consent agenda, Mr. Eberly.
Commissioners, this evening, we now have 7 items on your consent agenda for possible action. Item 15 is a motion to approve the appointment of W. Steve Young to the Soil Conservation District Board of Supervisors. Item 16 is a motion to approve the roof replacement contract at our public safety building in Mexico Farms in the amount of $91,300 to Height Roofing. Item 17 is a motion to approve the bids received for 2 surplus properties in the town of Allegany. Item 18 is a motion to authorize the disbursement of $1,000 from Community Promotions Fund to support the Old Town Summerfest coming up in a few weeks. Item 20 is a motion to approve Resolution 1717, which is the county's biannual kitchen sink motion that is prepared by Brian Westfall to amend the county's rules and regs. Item 21 is a motion to authorize an amendment to the county's flexible spending plan as permitted by the Affordable Care Act. The limit may now be adjusted from $2,500 to $2,600. And item 22 is a motion authorizing the president to execute grant documents in support of the SAFER grant application, which we believe may be forthcoming in the next week or so.
Any
Very
discussion?
No, sir.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Mr. Eberly.
Commissioners, just one point of interest, we did have a bid opening this week for the Braddock Run Sanitary Sewer Rehab Project, Phase 6. If all goes well, we believe we will be in a position at the end of the month to approve that bid award.
Great.
That's all I have.
Mr. Rudd.
I have nothing.
Commissioner Brody.
Just keep it very short. Congratulations to everyone for a successful Dell Fest. Paul, thank you very much. I know that you did an extraordinary amount of work out there, and as Mark stepped out, but thanks his gentleman too, because I know that he had a couple out there all weekend, and the maintenance department did too. It was fantastic. This was a very important meeting tonight for what was done and what was set forth. I really wish we could get the general public to be a little more positive. There's still a couple things that bothers me, and one of which is still this RETSA thing that you hear a little bit of grumblings about. You know, no one wants to see us go forward. Everyone would rather just sit back and say, well, we knew they wouldn't want to make it anyhow, this and that. And I really don't know where this stigma comes from in this county, because I see it all over the place. And quite frankly, I'm just about had enough of it, because people need to start looking forward, not looking back. The Kellys are not going to rise out of the ground. The Celanese is not going to rise out of the ground. The hand we got is the hand we're going to play, period. There's a lot of things going on in the county, and they are good things. But there's a whole bunch of things going on this week. Heaven forbid anymore, you got 2 neighbors that can't get along, because the first thing they want to do is drag the county and every resource it's got into some big fight because this neighbor's grass is 3 inches high. You'd think that people would have more important things to do than that. So there's $140 million at play tonight. It went to where it needed to go. It was put there for a bunch of hard work. That's what's important. So thank you.
Commissioner, you hit right on it. You know, we passed a $86.9 million budget, no tax increases, kept spending in line. And you know, when you don't hear much from the public on most of that money, I think we're doing a good job when it comes to how we spend that. And I think the vast majority of people respect that we're living within our means and trying not to raise taxes. On the other side of things, it's nice to see us committed to economic development, that we're actually doing stuff, the residential development, the RETSA side. It sounds like that's going to be put to use.
Oh, I think so.
And the same with our blight removal over in Rolling Mill. That money is going to get put to use. It's going to be used for economic development. It's going to be used to develop new tax base and put right back into the economy and the county's coffers. So very good meeting tonight, and I'm proud of the work we did, not only in the budget, but on those economic development programs too.
Well, sir, going forward, I most certainly hope we can take something like the RETSA program and adopt it into the commercial side to help
Absolutely.
to spawn the commercial side buildings. That's something we need to get working on, get this train moving.
Absolutely. And Mr. Kale, thank you for all your hard work on Delfest. I was able to make it out 2 nights, and the weather held mostly, but that's a great event, and we're happy to have them here, and I think they're pleased with how it's turning out, and we'll be talking with them and making it happen again next year and for another 10 years. All righty. So with that, we do only have one person signed up to speak, Mr. Ken Wilmot.
Yes, I'm Kenneth Wilmot. I live at 513 Fort Avenue. I own 11
Good
pieces of property up there. I pay my taxes on time. Been doing it for about 60 years. About 6 weeks ago, I asked if you knew that there hadn't been a Animal Control Advisory Board meeting. You said no. Ain't been one in over a year now. Is it possible to get an answer today why these people are not meeting according to the law of Allegany County? Can I get an answer?
Mr. Wilmot, they did have a scheduled meeting, and it was held in this building in April.
That was the last one.
Yes.
That was the last one. There hasn't been any since. That's over a year.
No, April of this year.
No.
Okay.
As far as I know, that it wasn't, because the guard out here told me, she said there wasn't any. And I was here.
Okay. Well, we will check on that. We were advised that there was a meeting.
Is it on the website or somewhere?
That's a bunch of baloney, April.
Okay.
There was one. I don't have a date, but there was.
Okay.
Could I have a copy of the minutes?
We will get that for you.
The next thing is,
We can't.
you people went down to Annapolis and acquired another $500,000 for that place out there. I didn't know a thing about it, and all kind of people wrote these beautiful letters demonstrating how nice the animal shelters are operating. I didn't have a chance to write my letter because is the shelter under quarantine at this moment? It was the last time I heard. Everything's top secret about the animal shelter. They got nothing to show out there for that $6 million they've got since October 2010. I've been watching, and I've been trying to find out when all these meetings go on. I've been told by the secretary of Mrs. Wilson out there that they're not having many meetings because they're waiting for the new the shelter animal control code to come out, one which they wrote. And it's been in the mill for what, over 3 years? Yeah.
For a while.
And as of yet, there's been no public input on that thing. It's not right for to make up county laws without public input. And it's against the law for these people to sit on their butt out there. They're supposed to be in here providing a place for people to complain. You had a perfect example last summer. 4 people from Mexico Farms come in here and complained. They went to the shelter. Shelter told them nothing they could do, and people can have as many animals as they want. That's a bunch of baloney too. So that's all I got to say. It's a bucket of boats. I attended more than one management program in the Air Force. They said, if you got a complaint, don't complain unless you got a solution. I got a solution. Do away with the advisory board. Have the animal shelter come right here once a month and give their report. Public report, not on internet or in secrecy. You're not being open. That is, you're not being open about this animal shelter. Everything's in secrecy. And the past manager out there, in her 13 years operating that place, she had no problems. She put down 19,000 animals, kept them off the streets of Cumberland. Now then, these new people, they put 10,000 back on the streets. And They got a problem, they got a giveaway problem. They're not collecting any fees, they're just giving animals away. Plus, they're giving these people food all the time to feed these animals. That costs a lot of money.
Well,
And I don't think it's right.
There will be a chance for public input before the animal code is adopted, correct? Absolutely.
So I think we should be on the board. I was at the advisory board meeting when the lady announced she's passed on now. I was there today. She said, with tears running down her face, she said, "We are going to rewrite the county animal control laws. We have accomplished our main objective." And that's how long it's been in the mill. And there's been no public input since then. I don't think that all the members of that animal shelter out there should be the ones making up the law for animals.
Mr. Wilmot, and again, as always, thank you for your service in the Air Force, but I do believe 4 years ago, we offered you a chance to sit on that animal advisory board. I actually know that.
I didn't want nothing to do with that shelter. I have 11 pieces of property. It's all I can do to keep it up. I'm 81 years old.
Absolutely.
And right now, I'm in the process of demoing my third house that I bought on Fort Avenue. I'm just about finished. And then I'm going to, hopefully, this is my last rodeo. I'll have something. But when it comes to animal control, you need somebody in there with the backbone and the fortitude to enforce the law. Nobody likes to kill an animal, myself included. But we are entirely, the county and the city is just so overrun with cats and dogs. Who wants to live in a neighborhood where you can't even think for dogs barking or cats running everywhere? I think you need to give it some thought. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Williams, do you have?
Yes.
It's all right.
Linda Dan Williams, Mount Savage.
On a happier note.
I just wanted to take a minute and thank you guys and Mr. Kale. We don't always see eye to eye, but he did an awful lot of work on this. Tuesday afternoon, Belt Construction went to work. If you ride up, look up there past 47 up through Barrelville, been 3 years in the coming. It's been a lot of work by you guys and his people and everybody else. But they started digging a new water line Tuesday that's running from down at the corner of 47 and 36, clean up to Prince Albert. A lot of homes up there. There's 5 or 7, Paul. They're back in Prince Albert, but for the last 7 years have been getting all their water out of a trout stream that runs through it. A portable pump that pumped into a concrete holding tank. There's more than trout flowed down that stream because it comes out of Pennsylvania, and well, that's beside the point. Anyhow, I just wanted to take a minute and thank you guys and his folks who made this all possible. And when you ride up through there, everybody's standing out in their yard smiling, going, God, we're finally getting water. So a lot of work. I know you had a ton in it, so did his crew. And Jake, you were in on making that happen, and Mr. Everly kind of give us a little guidance here to there. And just want to say thank you from everybody in that area, because those folks are really getting water. And when they get done there, they're going over, and the folks in Sunnyside are going to get it. So they've all, it's way past due. We really wanted to just come down tonight and say thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. 'Cause I've seen that barrel with the thing in it and going down into the stream. And it's crazy that that's only a couple miles from here, and that's how those people had to get water.
The only thing missing when that was going on was a little blind guy on the bridge with a banjo.
That's right.
Out of Deliverance. So.
That's exactly right.
He was in Pennsylvania. So.
Really want to thank you for how you made it happen.
Thank you.
All righty. With that, our next public business meeting is Thursday, June 29th at 5 o'clock here in this room. Meeting's adjourned.
We get paid to go.
Oh, Linda.